As international aid began to curtail the immediate threats posed by war and starvation, a more insidious adversary emerged within the crowded border camps: disease. Amidst the squalor and desperation, close quarters became a breeding ground for illness, compounding the challenges faced by displaced populations. The sheer volume of individuals living in cramped environments, coupled with inadequate sanitation and a lack of clean water, created a perfect storm for epidemics to flourish. These covert enemies, lurking behind the veil of survival, often claimed more lives than the direct violence of conflict, transforming health into a rampant crisis that affected every man, woman, and child within the camps. Malaria stood as perhaps the most relentless of these foes. Deeply entrenched in the region's ecosystem, it thrived in the humid, tropical environment that enabled mosquitoes to breed profusely in stagnant pools of water. The brutal toll of fever, chills, and extraordinary weakness swept through the camps like a dark cloud, particularly during the monsoon season, when conditions became ideal for the proliferation of both mosquitoes and malaria. Though international medical teams, such as Médecins Sans Frontières and the International Committee of the Red Cross, mobilized extensive efforts to combat malaria through the distribution of mosquito nets and life-saving anti-malarial drugs, the overwhelming scale of the crisis rendered these measures insufficient. Despite their diligent advocacy for preventive education, malaria persisted as a foremost cause of illness and death. Dysentery and various waterborne diseases presented an equally grave threat to the fragile health of camp residents. The initial absence of proper sanitation facilities and waste disposal systems led to the rampant spread of contamination, making daily existence a perilous endeavor. Cholera outbreaks, though sporadic, struck with alarming ferocity, spiraling out of control in mere hours. The urgent need for effective sanitation practices, installing latrines, securing safe water supplies, and promoting hygiene education became paramount in this tumultuous environment. However, such an undertaking was monumental. It demanded unwavering vigilance, resilience, and the cooperative spirit of every individual within the camp. All knew that their very survival hinged upon a collective commitment to restoring health and dignity amidst the chaos of existence. In the midst of despair and crowded living conditions, tuberculosis found its way into the lives of many, especially those living in impoverished settings. This relentless disease crept slowly, feeding on the vulnerable, particularly the elderly and individuals already weakened by life's relentless challenges. The lack of effective diagnostic tools only compounded the struggle. Patients remained in the shadows of uncertainty, with long-term treatment regimens proving difficult to adhere to in transient environments. The fight against this disease felt like an uphill battle, one marked by the pervasive threat of respiratory infections, skin diseases, and parasitic infestations that plagued these harsh living conditions. As the struggle against physical ailments continued, a new facet of the crisis revealed itself: the mental health impact of sustained trauma and displacement. Widespread psychological distress emerged among refugees, resembling a silent epidemic rather than the traditional spread of disease. Severe anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, cast long shadows over their lives, affecting their well-being in profound ways. Although aid agencies began to recognize the urgency for mental health support, barriers such as scarcity of resources and cultural differences made delivering adequate care a daunting task, leaving many to suffer in silence. Amid these challenges, medical staff, both international and Cambodian, worked tirelessly, embodying the spirit of resilience. They established makeshift clinics that buzzed with urgency and purpose, conducting surgeries with limited tools, their dedication unwavering even in the face of adversity. Vaccination campaigns targeted preventable childhood diseases, sowing seeds of hope amid the turmoil. Yet the battle against these silent afflictions felt endless, a constant reminder of human fragility. Each day in the camps echoed the struggle of modern humanitarian medicine, revealing profound lessons in resilience and compassion that would shape future disaster relief efforts for generations. Within the confines of adversity, the indomitable spirit of the human body faced relentless tests against unseen adversaries, reminding all of the extraordinary efforts required to preserve life and dignity in the darkest of times.